Alright everyone, it looks like we're seeing foreshocks of the collapse of the Soviet Union, that is the CHAZ, or CHOP as they're now calling it because they want to avoid charges under the Insurrection Act. I think these people realize, by the way, that it's not long for the world, and they're going to be, if I were in the zone, I would definitely be trying to filter out as part of a larger crowd, like without a mask on, anything, like looking like a totally normal average Joe, to avoid getting dragged in, because I guess they're like law enforcement is out a little ways from the zone, waiting to snatch people up if they try to leave, if they're recognized as one of the people engaging in some of these acts of violence here. But the other night there was another shooting in CHAZ. The person bled out and died, I think, and the paramedics waited like half an hour and wouldn't get out of the ambulance. And CHAZ is all upset, and these people are like, oh my god, let somebody die, fuck the corrupt system. Dude, you're staging an armed insurrection, and you yourselves are arguing, many of you, for statelessness anyway. Why would you want taxpayer-funded services like that? Why would you want to take part in that corrupt system? And by the way, why should the local people fund paramedic services to this zone anyway? You want to be autonomous, why don't you have your own hospital? Why don't you have your own fucking ambulance? It'd be a really short walk to the hospital. You get shot, they just have to drag you half a block anyway. Why aren't you people doing this? You've got such ingenuity. Why don't you do some more fucking dumbass e-begging? Why don't you beg for medical supplies? Why don't you beg for leftover hospital equipment, set up a little field hospital? You're so intelligent, you can do everything. You're so big, you don't need mommy and daddy anymore like you do in your gated communities once you leave CHAZ and you go back to your basement with your grandparents or whatever. Why don't you be a big boy or girl and pull yourself up by the bootstraps and do something positive for once? Oh, that's right, you're too busy failing to make a farm out of what used to be a park. By the way, really great urban horticultural design there. Oh man, I wish that I would get more updates about the Soyviet garden, just so I could ramble about that. But I think the CHAZ zone is collapsing, in part because the people organizing it, which is a hilarious thing when you're talking about anarcho-communists, just suck. They don't know what they're doing. They're a bunch of idiots. Essentially, these are people with like women's studies degrees and stuff like that. They don't know how to do farming. They don't know how to do political organization. These people with the guns that are there, I wonder, have they ever fired a gun before in their life? Maybe there's a reason. Maybe this was an accidental shooting. Who even fucking knows? It's not like the police really go into the zone. It takes them 3 times as long to respond to a call. If I were a cop, I would walk off the job if they tried to force me to go and police there anyway. I'd say, look, I'm going into hostile territory to save someone who is declaring themselves autonomous from the function that I'm supposed to serve in the first place. Fuck you. What the Seattle police should do is have a walkout. They should refuse to provide services until the city allows them to retake the chunk of their city that's currently in armed rebellion against the United States. Of course, the pussies probably won't do that. I'm just going to call them what they are, because that's what it really seems to be what's happening there. I realize that the mayor there is a moron and really is trying to hold things back, but I would think at some point you could just ignore her. Well, what's she going to do? Fire you all for doing your job? That would be a good one for a federal lawsuit. I think you should take it up with the president or something. Hell, the governor's probably more sane than the mayor of Seattle. That's going some. Isn't the governor there also far left? Probably is. I mean, it is Seattle and Washington State. Soyviet at this point. Some people call it Soymalia, although I think that more applies to Minneapolis, if I remember correctly. As far as CHAZ, though, it should be called the Soyviet Union, and it'll collapse. The fall of the Seattle wall. It'll be really funny when you see all the capitalists show up with sledgehammers to break down those idiot barricades that the cops put up to protect these people from getting hit by cars. You shouldn't have bothered. Why'd you block off additional roads around the area partially just to appease a bunch of communists that literally, they openly hate the United States. They're openly antagonistic towards the nation itself and what it stands for. Fuck them. Let them suffer. Let them do their own thing. They want to jump around and throw their excrement at people and drink their own pee and do other weird shit. Let them do that. Just wall the area off and declare it autonomous. Build a wall around them to keep them in. And then pay off all the local apartments, I'm assuming, business and apartment owners and stuff, and get, normal people out of there, evacuate them, and then, oh yeah, you can be in here. Oh yeah, this 10-foot barricade? Yeah, don't mind us. We're just, defending against a rival state. Yeah, you've got autonomy now. By the way, the military is coming, because now that you're a foreign state, we can declare you foreign combatants and just steamroll you with an Abrams tank. Roll an Abrams tank through the streets there to show of force and see what they do. They'll throw their piss and shit in it, and it'll be hilarious. You can live stream it. You can make so much money. There are so many ways. Capitalists of the world unite. There are so many ways to profit off of these goofball cringe fringe people. That's what I've taken to calling them. They're the cringe fringe now in the Soviet Union. I love it. and by the way, I have no sympathy for people in this zone when they get hurt or something. It's like, what the fuck did you expect to happen? Then 2 nights in a row now you've had shootings there. You get a shooting spree in this area. Supposedly it's all these peaceful hippies and stuff. This is democracy, says the Seattle mayor, as people literally stab and shoot one another in this fucking zone. And the police can't even respond. When the paramedics refused to get out of their vehicle, dude, it's an active shooter situation. They had to wait for the police. Of course it took them 30 minutes. Of course your friend, your bro, says Raz, that he probably doesn't know anything about. Of course he bled out. The fuck do you expect? Fucking build a tourniquet. It's about the best thing you can do. Take a tourniquet, put it around your neck. Disclaimer, of course, I'm not actually encouraging that. Yeah, it's funny how you have to actually do stuff like that these days. You have to warn people that you're not actually encouraging them to do things that you're clearly not encouraging them to do. Remember the Tide Pod Challenge? Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, it's the Soviet Union. Raz is an idiot. I called him a dumb bitch last night on Twitter. Hopefully he saw that one. Probably did. I imagine that these people are better at organizing their Twitter feed than they are organizing CHAZ. I imagine these people are better. They're better at making TikTok videos than they are farming. That much is clear. I half expect them to do the no-no square dance, like 1,000 people in the middle of the street or something, and call it a revolutionary act. These people are goddamn nuts. These people are out of their minds. It's great fun watching. If I had an apartment overlooking this area, oh, trust me, there'd be some fucking live streams. Somebody that, maybe some clanker with the money to do so, should go to Seattle and rent out, I don't know if there's a hotel nearby that's tall enough or something, aim a really, really great webcam down there and provide live coverage. And if it's legal, and I don't know the laws about this, maybe you could have a camera outfitted to a drone and provide aerial coverage. And you could have like circus music, the circus theme. You could have that playing in the background, because that's basically what you'd be looking at. You get to see all the people down there would be jumping around trying to throw their feces at the drone, though, so you'll have to get some disinfectant wipes. Careful, because a lot of it's probably paused. I mean, they are leftists after all. That's about all. Peace out.